All right, coming up on this next episode of One Star Rewind, we get to change it up again today. We actually interview, his name is Dean. He is from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and he runs a marketing company where he actually, as a job, he has clients where he helps them market their business, but he also helps them repair some of their bad reviews that they've gotten for their business. It's a great talk. What we're going to do today is actually reference a few reviews that happened for different companies here in Waco, Texas. It's 2 reviews. We're not going to say the names of the companies just for them, but we will read the actual review and we'll read the response from the owners and get Dean's take on what he thinks would have been a good response and maybe if they were his clients, how he would have handled it. So enjoy today's episode of One Star Rewind.
One Star Rewind.
All right, everybody, welcome to another riveting, amazing, spectacular episode of One Star Rewind, where we dive into 1-star reviews and get to talk about them and ask the question, what happened? Today, we do have a little bit of a different take on our normal show, which I am super excited about. I have a friend here with me. You're in Nashville right now, Dean, right? Or outside of Nashville?
Yep, right outside of Nashville.
Right outside of Nashville. What we're going to do is we're going to just dive into 2 reviews, and I'm going to get Dean's opinion. Dean is a professional in this space about really how to market your business, but how do you handle a bad review, and maybe how do you try to spin it for a positive outlook, which is what every business should try to do, because we all get those dreaded 1 stars. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read him a review from one business and then a review from another business, and then I'll get his opinion. I'm not going to say the names of these businesses. You might be able to pick them up based on their review, but I think they're fascinating. One of these businesses is super established here in Waco, and the other one is brand new. And but it doesn't matter, new or old. Everybody has to deal with these 1 stars. So we're just going to dive right into our first review. This was from 2 years ago. This person who left this review, Jenny, on Google. Jenny's actually left about 15 reviews, different places. Most of them are all 5 stars. She's actually left, I think, 3. This was her third 1-star review. So overall, she has a very positive outlook, I think, on businesses, except this one. So she says, "Do not take the tour. The person asking us if we are wanted to take the tour would not take a no for an answer. Then as we left the parking lot, he met us at the exit of the parking lot, tried to bring someone off the tour over to our car window to talk to us. Harassment and frustration. This was not okay and made us feel unsafe. When we said no, we meant no." Okay, so that was the review. Then the owner did a reply, and I won't read the whole reply, but then the reviewer did a reply or a response to this. So they said, "After response from the blank business, the staff member should never follow us to our vehicle after saying no. The staff member should not try to keep us from leaving the parking lot after saying no. Not an acceptable situation ever. Would not recommend blank business to anyone." Okay, Dean, I'm going to switch it up. Let's talk about this first, and then we'll spend a little bit, then we'll read the other one. So tour business in town.
Sure.
Looks like they have a very aggressive sales staff, maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Trying to get people to really hop on these tours. So give me your thoughts here, and maybe a little bit of background while you're giving your thoughts, just so kind of we can get an understanding of where you're coming from.
Sure. So the 30-second background is I own multiple digital marketing agencies. One of the primary focuses that we have is acquiring reviews for our clients. And then I either respond to the reviews or coach them on how to respond to the reviews.
Oh, great.
And so I have a 3-step process for dealing with positive reviews, and that's keep it short, keep it positive, keep it professional.
Okay.
And it's the same for a negative review with the additional step of take the conversation offline. So in this instance, I actually like the first 3 sentences of this company's response.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Jenny. We're so sorry that you had that experience. We would never want to put anyone in an uncomfortable situation. That's the point at which the owner should have stopped and said, please give us a call. We would like more information.
Okay. Yeah.
And so anytime the business responding to the review tries to justify their position, it sounds bad. It's like you're making excuses, or, and even if, even if the situation is not what it looked like, which in this instance, it kind of appears that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Sounding like you're making an excuse just makes it look worse. It's like a
Sure.
teenager. Well, the car, there was a thing, and
Yeah.
like, just don't do that.
Yeah.
Always kind of rise above the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
But asking to take that conversation offline is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because you can't argue with crazy people. Now, in this instance, it does not appear that the person leaving the review, Jenny, was crazy. I would also be frustrated in this situation.
Yeah, me too. And we do, on the show, as we've read different reviews now from different companies, you can get a sense just based on the emotional level of the review, maybe grammar, exclamation points. We try to find it to try to understand the reviewer a little bit better, and a lot of them are a little ridiculous, and that's just part of this game. But I'm with you, Dean. I'm not reading that in this review. I'm reading somebody that was genuinely frustrated by the process of how this company tries to get people to ride their tours. And I'm seeing someone that's very level-headed.
Yes.
Do you see?
And so one of the reasons I love the review process, the review acquisition and monitoring and amplification process, is because you can go back to the business owner and say, hey, there's a problem in your operations or in your sales. Let's get that fixed.
Sure.
And then you have from my vantage point as a marketer, then I'm entering into the realm of consultant more than tactician.
Okay.
Which is great for me because it helps me with my relationship with the client.
Sure. Do you think, so if this was your client, and let's say they already had made the mistake of like you were explaining, they were trying to justify, and we'll just read the rest of their reply because I think this is good. So it says, from our staff member's vantage point, he was wanting to give you recommendations for what to do during your stay in Waco. That was clearly not communicated the way he intended. We apologize again for the miscommunication. We hope you enjoyed your trip. But like you just said, they're trying to justify this in this public forum where that could have probably been explained over the phone. And then they do this response where they're like, they left the date here when they responded to the owner's response. Have you had clients that have come to you after, like, now they're in this like back and forth on Google reviews?
Right.
What would you say to them, the company here in this situation?
So I would say stop communication at this point.
Yeah.
It's not going to get better.
Yeah.
So just cut it off right now and just take your losses. The other thing that I tell my clients is the best way to combat negative reviews is to have a ton of positive reviews that are done well and responded to appropriately and all of that. So, if this company here has 500 5-star reviews and 3 1-star reviews, this is not a problem.
Yeah.
If this is one of 5 reviews, now we have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that greatly does affect the rating, and it looks more like, well, this is a commonplace, not an outlier. If it's one of 5. Yeah. I read through some of their other ones. They do have quite a few. And this company has been here in Waco for, I'm guessing off the top of my head, probably 6 years. It kind of was after the Magnolia Fixer Upper train got on the track, end of 2015. This company popped up, I think, the year after. So, so they've been here for a minute. They have a lot of reviews on Google, almost 1,000, and that's 5 stars, 1 stars, 3 stars. But looking through their 1 stars, this is a common thread of this. Hey, the salesperson was a little aggressive, or they're, chasing us in the parking lot. That was actually referenced a few different times
Oh
about this
gosh.
following us in the parking lot. If you're working with this company and maybe they become a new client, you look through their reviews to try to gauge what's going on, and you see something common, a common
Mhm.
thread, do you address that with the company?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially as somebody who's sensitive to that sort of high pressure sales tactic,
Mm-hmm.
like nobody likes that.
Yeah.
I don't know why companies do that anymore.
Yeah. I don't know why
So
either.
that's definitely something I would address
Yeah.
for
Dean,
sure.
Dean, if someone's following me in the parking lot trying to trying to get me to buy something,
Right.
I may do other things than just leave a 1-star review.
Yes.
That is like, I don't know. It's just not cool.
Yes.
Not cool. Um,
From it's funny, a lot of what I do with reviews stems from a psychological perspective. Like, one of the things I coach my clients on is you ask for the review at the point in your relationship where the dopamine release is highest.
mm,
So, like, as soon as somebody gives you money, that's when you ask for a review,
sure.
because the hope is the relationship is the best
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
And, like, from a psychological standpoint of this, somebody's following me in a parking lot, I'm in fight or flight.
Yeah.
And so that's a problem. You don't want to push your clients
It's
into
true.
fight or flight.
Let's avoid the flight or fight review situation. I
Yes,
think
exactly. That's not where you want to. That's not where you want to live in your client's mind.
it's got to be like a T-shirt or something. That's amazing, Dean. Last point about this review, and then we'll hop to the other one. Do you ever coach your clients, or do they ask you, like, can I ask this reviewer to take it down? Like,
Yes.
how do you handle those situations when they ask
So
that?
it literally happened last week. I have an attorney client, and uh, one of my clients' girlfriends just
One of my
right.
clients. Okay, I'm
Yes,
tracking.
went absolutely crazy
Mm.
online. And so my attorney called his client and was like, look, I'm not even doing business with her. I'm doing business with you. Can you
Oh,
please deal with this? And so he
jeez.
he got it removed.
Wow.
Um, I've had I've had multiple clients be able to get 1-star reviews removed
Mm.
based on the positivity and professionalism of the response.
Okay.
So as
Yeah.
soon as there's a negative review, I want the client or myself to respond
Yeah.
quickly, because
Sure.
you don't want that floating around on the internet.
Yeah.
But then if you follow up with a phone call and do the explanation offline,
Hmm.
that helps a lot. That
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think getting it off of that public forum as quickly as possible, so you can just have that one-on-one talk, either via email or a phone call, or man, maybe they come in and talk to you if you're like brick and mortar type setup. But yeah, I mean, then I think cooler heads kind of prevail there, and you can discuss what really happened, and actually, you as the reviewer can really help the business, and then the business can really have a good conversation with you as the reviewer. Um, it's big time.
Yes. And most online conversations are misconstrued, or the perceived emotional intensity is much higher than it really is.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We talk about that a lot, where these reviews always seem they come from like the most heated moment when the reviewer, and some of these that you can really see that emotion. They're like the minute they got in the car, after
Right.
some bad experience, they're just firing on Google. This
Yes.
one feels a little bit like it happened maybe right afterwards, because they're kind of detailed in how they're leaving this review. But again, like we said, it didn't really feel like it was ridiculous or out of place. I think this was just maybe not a great way that this company does their sales. And
Yeah, I would say that this is one of the fairly uh, infrequent occurrences of a very justified 1-star review.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Want to roll to the next one?
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Okay. So this one, a company here also in Waco, brand new. This place just opened. I want to say 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I think
Okay.
They just opened. So this is a brand new place. And they have about 20 reviews so far, and it's rough. They've actually I was going to talk to you about another review that they had, like their first bad review, but then since then they got another one, and they're both kind of compelling in different ways. One is just super long, so I'm not going to dive. I'm going to read the newest 1-star, and then I'll actually bring up the other one just because I want your opinion on what happened. So
Sure.
the review is from P. Rosa. Again, this is on Google Reviews. This person's left 3 reviews on this account. The other ones were both 5 stars, and then this third one is a 1-star. So again, they don't have this track record of a bunch of 1-stars.
Sure.
And we do see that. We'll see people that have left 20 reviews on Google, and they're like all bad. And you're just like, this is just maybe a negative person. This person doesn't seem like that. So this was 4 days ago. Review said, I was so excited about booking blank, and I called for a question about online reservations. The employee was extremely rude. I was taken so aback that it made me hesitate on booking my family stay altogether. I understand people have a bad day, but it truly lessens the customer's overall experience. And that was the end of that review.
Yes.
So they didn't, I'm trying to reread this, Dean. They did book or they didn't book? They hesitated.
Did not book.
It made me hesitate.
Well, I understand.
I wonder if they booked.
I don't know.
Well, regardless of that, now this review has happened before they even came to this place, right?
Right.
So this was just purely their first impression, 1-star
Sure.
review. So do you see that a lot? Like they didn't even give the place a chance. It was just really, this person was rude.
I do actually see that a lot. And technically, according to Google's terms of service, the reviewer has to have had an actual business relationship.
Oh, okay.
With the company.
Drop in knowledge. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So you can ask, so the owner, the company here could ask to have that review removed. Now, Google probably wouldn't do it.
Sure.
Because sometimes they're ornery and they don't do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
But the red flag here from the reviewer is the vagueness.
Okay.
Like the employee was extremely rude. That's super subjective.
Yeah.
Good grief. If I come off oftentimes as extremely rude. So I would hope that most people don't leave a review based on that.
1-star for Dean. Yeah.
That's right. That guy Dean sucks. He's so rude.
So rude.
Sorry,
no details. Oh. Oh my gosh. No, but that's true. There was no why were they rude? Did they keep you on hold for 50 minutes? Did they not give you detailed, did they not answer your questions? Or you're right. It is very vague. What do you think of the reply? The owner reply?
I think everything they did in this reply is perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to read it?
Yes. So can I say the name of the company or are we not doing that?
Nah, don't say the name.
Okay. So the company says, hello, we are so sorry you did not have a good experience when you gave us a call. First of all, that's perfect because you should apologize right away, even if you're not wrong, even if the person is bat poop crazy.
Yeah.
You should just apologize.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been married long enough to know that.
Learned a few things there.
Yeah. Right. And so they continue. We would love to help address any questions you may have and hope you will still come give us a chance to see what makes the company so great.
Yes. Whoops.
Company. So great. And so I think this is perfect because they don't try to justify the bad behavior from the employee.
Okay.
And they offer to take the conversation offline.
Yeah.
So I think and it was positive, it was short and professional.
Mm-hmm.
So everything
it.
About this is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they listened to some of my old.
I was gonna say, are they a client? Maybe. I mean, you're just not telling us. So I'm with you. I think even not knowing you really you're coaching me up too here, but not even understanding some of the points you're making. This does feel like a good response, even with me not understanding the technical side of it. I'm like, okay, I feel like that's good. I wonder if they talked about this if they showed up. Maybe they didn't really book this place. But I wonder if they would they have brought it up to somebody at the front desk or whatever and saying, hey, I left this bad review, I had a bad experience or whatever. I don't know.
Most people don't tell you when they leave a bad review.
That's true. They probably don't.
I think a lot of it happens offline and people are more than willing to leave it offline.
Yeah.
But I do think that this response is great. And the negative review is another one that's very reasonable.
Yeah.
It's not in all caps.
Yep.
There's not 50 exclamation marks.
Yeah. Sometimes the grammar is even hard. The other one was sometimes a little hard to read because they use past tense, future tense, where it's hard. This one, it was laid out well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would imagine that both parties are justified in what they've written.
Yeah.
So
let me tell you about the other one, and we won't read it because it's super, super long. But what I felt like, this was left a month ago, and to my knowledge, this place wasn't even open yet when this other review was left. And it's basically somebody saying they drove by. It's not. I think they even say that they didn't go here yet. Like it wasn't. Oh, it says the beginning of this other review. Full disclosure: we have not stayed here. So they're basically.
What are you reviewing?
We're pre-reviewing based on the Google terms. They have no relationship.
We're just judging you.
We're just judging. This is a judge review.
Right. This is not a judgment.
And Dean, it is so long. They're like based on their location, based on what they look like, how much they're charging for rooms, all of these things. It's like, dang, like it's like they're this critic coming in, and I did think that was pretty unfair that someone does that.
So the length of review is an indication of the craziness level of the person. There's a direct correlation between the length of the review and the craziness.
Okay. Well,
always.
This one was really crazy. I had actually, I asked them, so we had I don't know what their role is necessarily. I think they were the owner, or maybe they might manage the site. They came on one of our other podcasts and talked about it. And actually, there's been a lot of hype around this business opening up here in Waco. Kind of a different concept. And they came on, had a good experience. I was not on that show, but I talked to them in the lobby or in the hallway afterwards, and they had mentioned this bad review. And I thought, oh man, like I do this show called One Star Review. And the person was like, yeah, let me know. Like I'd love to come on because it's a ridiculous review, and I'd love to talk about it. So then So I reached out to. I think it's a bigger company, and I reached out to somebody on their marketing team, and this is kind of, we had talked about this a little bit before, and this is why I really wanted to have you on to talk about this, because they told me they were very nice, and I emailed them. The email back was like, oh, thank you for thinking of us. I love the concept of your show. However, we don't feel like this is in our marketing strategy to talk about a bad review. And I remember being so taken back by that. Like, well, of course, we don't want to talk about bad review. Like we all want to pretend like they don't exist, but they do exist. And it's how you tackle it. And that's why I thought, man, I got to talk to Dean, because I know this is in the realm of what you do. And if you had, I don't think you would have said, nah, we can't tackle it. I would have thought you would have said, let's find the best way to respond.
Yes.
To a bad review.
So I would have, but I will justify the marketing person's answer in that they probably come from a very large corporation that has a strong PR presence.
Sure.
And so they're used to, we're only going to talk about the positives.
Yeah.
We're only going to talk about the things that make us great.
Sure.
All of that. And so they probably have brand guidelines written down somewhere that's like, we don't do negative press.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that's fair.
But from my standpoint, most of my clients are between the 500,000 to 2 million in revenue mark, and they're small businesses. And most of my clients that I deal with face to face are the actual owners. Yeah. I have the opposite response with most of my clients, where they're like, find their address because I'm going to go to their house, which is also not what we want to do.
Have a camera rolling. Let's go.
Right. let's take 24 hours and cool down and think about this.
Definitely.
But no, I think responding to a negative review it's necessary. And
Yeah.
the way that you respond will make it can have a greater effect on positive sales than the way that you respond to a positive review.
I agree. I agree.
You know, yeah.
I think as a consumer, I, well, and we're all like weird people in our society. You like to go look at the bad reviews. We just do. It's like why we like to look at a car crash on a freeway and everyone's turning their neck. You just want to go look at it. But I do like to know how the owner or manager responded. To those bad reviews, and if there isn't one, or if they're trying to shy away, I think that's not, I'm going to say negative, but I look at that and I'm like, oh, I think a little less of them, in that
absolutely.
way. What are your thoughts on one thing, and then I want to kind of wrap it up. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to with the company. So review blackmailing. So person leaves 1-star review for the full intention of I want a refund, or I want a gift card, or I want something. Maybe the review wasn't justified at all, but they're just like, I want a freebie. Like, do you have those conversations with your clients? Is that a real thing? Is that something that is not a thing and I'm making it up, or what's your take on that?
So I've only ever kind of thought that might be a reviewer's intention once, and that was with a restaurant that we used to do business with.
Okay.
Probably one that you're somewhat familiar with.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
And my reaction is just respond the same way, and if they call and ask for something, the answer is no.
Gotcha.
Because very few businesses intentionally do something wrong.
Yeah.
No business owner is sitting there like, ha, 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 sitting there petting their, hairless cat thinking, how can I destroy my customers' lives?
Sure.
Nobody does that.
No. Yeah.
So I don't think it happens very often. And if a reviewer were to say that that's what they thought, they're just crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We're putting them in a crazy pile. So all the negative reviews should get responded to in the same way.
Yeah.
Keep it short, keep it positive, keep it professional, take the conversation offline.
Love it.
Even if it's insanity.
Yeah, even if it's insanity, and you want to go knock on their door at their house, keep it up. Okay, well, wrap us up. Tell us a little bit more about what y'all have going on with the company. Where you're heading. Give us kind of the wrap up of Dean here. What's going on?
Sure. So I've been in digital marketing for 6 years now, pushing 7. I have an MBA in marketing, which is weird that I'm one of those people that's actually using my degree.
I know, very uncommon.
I got my degree in the early 2000s, and there was like one day of internet conversation in the whole program. So most of what I'm learning is new, but I used to own my own business, and then a couple years ago, I merged with 2 friends of mine that were also competitors. So
awesome.
I refer to them as the co-opetition.
We'll put that on t-shirts too. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We're starting a t-shirt brand here.
I love it.
And so we have Boro Business Lab, Boro Business Lab.
Oh, I see it.
I'm getting the glare here from the sun. Boro Business Lab.
That looks good.
And so we focus on local businesses, and that's not just Nashville, but that's any business that serves a locality.
Cool.
So both of the reviews that we read here would be good potential clients of mine.
Yeah.
And so it's me and 2 other guys, and we have figured out there's a 7-step process for local businesses to build their digital footprint and to get more customers. We actually call it the Get More Customers marketing formula.
Cool.
And step 1 is local directories, and step 2 is reviews. So your podcast here is getting reviews is one of the absolute most important things that any business, especially a local business, should do.
Agreed.
That third party credibility, especially from Google's sake. So I don't want to get too techie here, but Google's first patent was on ranking the contents of the internet based on what other parties and other websites said about a website. So up until then, you had, your website was ranked based on what was on your website. Well, Google was like, no, we don't care about what you put on your website. We care about what other people say about your website. And so from a local marketing standpoint, when you think about it, that third party credibility of these are real humans leaving real reviews about this business.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate third party credibility for Google. And so that's why reviews are so massively important, not just for humans, but for the Google algorithm.
Yeah.
So reviews, super important.
Wow.
Just, it can't be understated.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah. I mean, you've always just kind of like, oh, well, I want good reviews, not bad reviews. Okay, well, duh.
Right.
But the fact that it's that heavily focused from that third party perspective, yeah, that makes a ton of sense, Dean. I think SEO stuff is always so fascinating. It always feels like this, you're kind of chasing your tail and you're like, what's real, what's not real, all this stuff. But that, man, that couldn't be truer. So that's why you guys spend so much effort and time on this reviews for businesses.
Yes, it's foundational to a business.
Cool.
We actually have one client, he's a realtor. He is in an area that's maybe 10 miles outside of where we are, which is fairly, not rural, but it's not a massively populated area.
Yeah.
Somebody Googled realtor in this area, and he was one of the only ones with reviews. And based on the way that he's responded to his reviews, he got a phone call from a lady in California, and he sold like a $1.3 million house.
Jeez.
Based on Google reviews.
That's crazy. Where you're just like, they're Google reviews, but man, they translate. That is a direct correlation to sales.
Yes, it translates into sometimes very large dollar figures.
That's insane. Dean, I want to have you like on a regular here. Maybe like every once in a while you come on and we talk about some other reviews or something.
This would be fun. Yeah. Next time you get somebody deny you they'll be on the show. I'll be on the show as their proxy.
I love
it, voice
dude.
of reason.
Thank you. I took it. That's why I'm terrible at sales. I take it so personal. Like when I get a no, I'm like, oh, what the heck, but I calm down, but I figured, we still got to talk about it, And so I think Dean, man, yeah, every once in a while we'll come back to you. I love it.
Yeah. Cool. This will be fun.
Cool. All right. And like you said, even though you're in Murfreesboro, you can cater and have business anywhere. I mean,
oh yeah, we've got clients internationally now.
That's great. I think it's almost better sometimes to have like an outside, like if I'm using just Waco as an example, having someone that's not here kind of be that voice of reason and help a business that's not right here, because it provides a really cool perspective and you're really good at what you do. So
awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool. All right, Dean. Well, thanks for the time, man. And thanks for hopping on One Star.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Cory.
All right, buddy.
All right. See you.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.